Hey, what is up guys? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about, is ExpressVPN one of the most popular VPNs you'll see on YouTube being advertised? Just a popular VPN in its own right, quite an old VPN as well. Is it actually worth the cost in 2021? Before I start this video, I just want to make one thing clear. This video is not made to promote or necessarily advertise or tell you to buy ExpressVPN. This is a video just from an honest critic who wants you to know and be more informed about VPN providers. Most other people mentioning ExpressVPN on YouTube are more so advertising or just getting you to try to buy the product since they'll make a lot of money off it. Now, I don't mean to slander or defame or anything like that or to hurt ExpressVPN's feelings. These are just my objective, unbiased thoughts on the product itself, providing criticism so they can maybe even improve it if they want to listen to these criticisms. So guys, how much does ExpressVPN cost? Well, it's actually around $13 a month, $100 for 15 months if you use a special link, or around $60 for 6 months. Now, if you don't use a special link like the one in the description down below, if you do decide to purchase ExpressVPN, you're going to get a little bit of a special deal. And the way it is advertised is being around $6.67 per month. A lot of times people say, hey, ExpressVPN is only like $7 a month. That's not too bad, right? However, you're paying $7 a month for around 15 months. So the reality of this is that you're paying $7 a month for around 15 months. It's not like you're paying $7 month per month. It's you're paying $100 up front for around 15 months. It's a little bit confusing, and these VPN providers I think do that on purpose in my opinion. It is a better deal than their normal deal, which is $100 for 12 months versus $100 for 15 months. And if you just go to the website without clicking on any links, you're not going to see that extra 3-month deal. So I just kind of wanted to clarify the price there, because I do see people tell other people that ExpressVPN is only $7 a month, which is simply not true. So now that we know the cost in terms of being the actual cost, is it worth the cost? Now I'm going to be discussing some things that, in my opinion, don't really make it worth the cost. If you're going to be the most expensive VPN, which in many cases ExpressVPN pretty much is, you need to have pretty much every single thing that another VPN has. ExpressVPN has to be the best VPN since it's also the most expensive. I think that's a pretty reasonable assumption, right? Take for example an expensive car. If you spend 100 grand on a car, pretty much in every way it's going to be better than just a shitty $20,000 car. Maybe there'll be a few like things that aren't quite as good. Maybe it's a little bit heavier, or you have to spend more money on gas because it doesn't get as good as mileage. But for the most part, it's going to be a better car overall. It's going to have better quality, better interiors, faster engine, cooler look. So it makes sense for cars. But in terms of VPN, more expensive VPN doesn't always mean better product overall, like it does probably with cars. So is it worth the cost here? Well, suffice to say, here are some things why I don't think it is worth the cost in 2021. Number one is ExpressVPN has limited connections compared to other VPN providers. It only provides you 5 simultaneous connections to use ExpressVPN, which means that if you're sharing it with your family in your household or something like that, there might be problems connecting to ExpressVPN. If 5 people are connected to it, no more can connect to it at the same time. For a lot of people, this isn't an issue, but like I said, if you have other people in your house using it on a Fire Stick, TVs, routers, stuff like that, it can get congested. Other VPN providers allow up to around 10 or in some cases even more than that, so more people can use it at the same time. For the price, I would expect ExpressVPN to have more simultaneous connections than it does. In fact, ExpressVPN used to even have fewer, just around 3. I don't know why they're so stingy about that. Another problem point with ExpressVPN is that it doesn't have WireGuard support. Now, it did develop its own lightweight protocol. However, in my test, it doesn't do well for PC speeds. It could do better on mobile and stuff like that. I haven't tested it too much. But for everyone on my channel in the global speed test, lightweight did not perform well at all. In fact, ExpressVPN was one of the slower VPN providers out of all of them that we tested. And for being so expensive, that's pretty disappointing. That said, if you're not using lightweight, the basic protocols like IKEv2 and OpenVPN can be decently fast, but still, I don't think they're the fastest speeds, and since it's so expensive, it's definitely disappointing. Another problematic thing with ExpressVPN that makes it not worth the cost, perhaps, is that there have been a lot of issues with streaming this year. Now, perhaps it's related to the pandemic or more people just using ExpressVPN more than more. Maybe there's too many people on the servers. Maybe they're having issues with Netflix. Whatever the case is, ExpressVPN is not as reliable as it has been in the past for unblocking streaming content. However, I've always kind of believed that is to be the case with most VPNs. If a VPN works to unblock Netflix, once it gets popular, there's going to be more and more problems. That's why a VPN like TorGuard has a unique solution called streaming IPs, which are sold individually to each person. ExpressVPN, on the other hand, uses other techniques like giving specific IPs to users to access Netflix, but Netflix will block or ban these IPs, which creates problems when you're trying to connect to a server and it won't work anymore, making you have to switch around servers, which is kind of a hassle, or even ask support to see which one works. Suffice to say, people have been finding that ExpressVPN has had more problems this year unblocking streaming services, which is disappointing since it's very expensive and you would expect pretty much a flawless execution in terms of that, especially since ExpressVPN is commonly marketed as being really good at unblocking Netflix and other services. Now, perhaps the most important thing to consider if ExpressVPN is worth the cost in 2021 is that if it does things better than other VPNs, specifically some of the things I've mentioned. Do other cheaper VPNs have these features that ExpressVPN does not? And the answer is yes. Take, for example, the top-rated VPN on the channel like TorGuard VPN. TorGuard VPN subsequently offers 8 simultaneous connections for their basic plan, which is only $5 a month or $30 a year, roughly a third of the price, and it offers more connections. Not only that, but they have the VPN Pro plan, which offers up to 12 simultaneous connections, which is still cheaper at around $7 a month or around $50 a year. TorGuard VPN has WireGuard support on PC, and it works really good, getting really fast torrent speeds, and it even includes a SOCKS 5 proxy, which ExpressVPN does not. This is really good for torrenting, and it's something I actually forgot to mention in the list before. But yeah, ExpressVPN doesn't have a SOCKS 5 proxy that you can use with torrenting, and TorGuard does. A couple other VPNs do too. Not only that, but TorGuard VPN, it's $60 a year or $11 a month, making a cheaper price for streaming. They do have the regular bundle, which is only $5 a month or $30 a year, but the streaming bundle itself does not have any issues because you're using unique streaming IPs. You have to use code Netflix for that. But the main point I have there is that it's cheaper and has less compatibility problems with streaming. However, the small caveat there, you're limited to picking 2 locations out of 6 available ones. However, some other VPNs like VPN are only $5 a month or $30 a year, and they are pretty flexible with working with most locations. And since less people are using VPN, I think there's actually less problems with block servers and stuff like that than with ExpressVPN. Now, I could go into even more detail on why cheaper VPNs can be better than ExpressVPN. However, if you want to check out those specific VPNs, I recommend checking out the TorGuard VPN review on the channel, or just going to check out their website with a link down in the description down below that will help support the channel. Or you could check out something like VPN, their review, or the link in the description down below, or even something like VPN, which is also cheaper than ExpressVPN and available down below, as well as a review on the channel has been made already too. In summation, there are cheaper VPNs than ExpressVPN that do pretty much everything better in a lot of cases. So perhaps in 2021, it's not the best purchase. However, that said, there are worse VPNs than ExpressVPN, and it does do some things okay. It's very easy to use. It's red. The company is mostly friendly for the most part, and it does have a pretty long history of unblocking streaming services. Admittedly, there's just been some problems lately, so at least they have that. Anyways, guys, this has been Tom Spark with a unbiased, objective look at seeing if ExpressVPN is worth it in 2021, and I'll see you again in the next one very soon.